Welcome to another Top 5 with Kris05. Today I will give you 5 of the best decks you can use to climb to Legend with in the new season, what included win rates and mulligan guide, as well as if they're in danger of getting nerfed. Hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, a like and a subscribe would really help. Come on. Come on. It would really be awesome if we can reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You can also check out some of my other in-depth guides for different aspects of the game, but for now, let's get into the decks. The first deck on the list has to be Soul Demon Hunter again. It feels like every second game is against these guys, and their win rate is pretty high too. I already showed you this deck 2 times in my last top 5s, but now, after 2 of its worst matchups got nerfed really hard, it has almost no bad matchups, but we will check that out later. This version again doesn't run Mech tEDAA, since it was being ran mainly because of the Guardian Druids, but with those not as popular anymore, we have more consistent choices here. We have 2 Wand Makers, which always give you good 1-drop spells, and we also have 1 Consume Magic, so we can deal easier with those Paladins. The deck is packed with tons of reach, and you also have 1 Horde Pillager, so you can get one of your great weapons back. Like I said, 2 of your worst matchups are a lot less frequent now. Eordahlon Mage is dead, and Guardian Druid dropped hard in popularity too, so now your only problem is coming from Paladins. It's still a decent matchup in reality if you are good with the deck, so climbing should be pretty easy for you. For the mulligan, you want your Jailers, Pantras, and Wand Makers. And depending on the matchup, you might want your Warblades and Shear if you're against aggro. And if you're going second, keeping Mystic can also be pretty good. If you're going second and you already have a good curve going, keeping Skull of Gul'dan can be pretty good, and Marrow Slicer is pretty cool as well. The deck is doing really good right now, so in Hearthstone that usually means the deck is due to a nerf. Sorry, Draco. Feel free to abuse it while you still can, but I think cheap cards like Lapidary, Marrow Slicer, and Mystic might get hammered soon. If I have to make an educated guess, I'd say we will hear about the nerfs in 2 weeks from now, but time will tell. I still think it's definitely worth the craft, since it's really cheap, but Aggro Demon Hunter is also doing pretty well, so you can go in that direction, since we all know that deck cannot be nerfed. Next up is Small Spell Mage. When I said every second game will be against Soul Demon Hunter, I forgot to mention that every third game is gonna be against these mages. They are wreaking RNG havoc on the ladder right now, and a lot of people already climbed to Legend with them, so it is indisputably in the top 5 best decks. The main reason why they're so good is the broken combo with Sorcerer's Apprentice and Evocation and the Giants as soon as turn 4 or 5. Turn 4 is usually when you need to be worried against them, since on turn 4 they can go into the Sorcerer's Apprentice, into Evocation, into Mana Cyclone for a ton of 0 mana spells. Saving a Cult Neophyte for their turn 4 is usually a great idea, so you can at least try to postpone their game plan at least a little bit. Solarian is also pretty huge, and you can even get 2 more of those from your studies, and if you discover more of those, things get pretty nutty. You also have Shanvala and Jandis, so you have some extra board presence, and Ross can be pretty difficult to remove from the board as well, so it's no wonder everyone's jamming this deck right now. The matchups are very green for you, with only Face Hunter and Bomb Warrior having a slight edge over you. Soul Demon Hunter is basically 50-50 and everything else is deep in the green, so that would mean a lot of easy ranks for you. On the mulligan, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Wand Maker, Violet, Solarian and Lab Partner would be your best keeps. If you already have Apprentice, you could also keep Mana Cyclone and Evocation for a crazy good turn 4. But it's tricky, so keep an open mind. Never keep Raws and Conjurers in your starting hand, and Jandis doesn't make too much sense either. The deck is quite pricey, but with win rates like that, you shouldn't feel too bad about crafting it. It's another deck that I feel is gonna get batted in a couple of weeks, so keep that in mind, and I really think this time the card will be the cheap Apprentice. Apprentice is problematic not because she drops spells by 1 mana, but because she can drop them to 0 mana, so I can definitely see a future where she stops giving spells below 1 mana, so we can stop seeing those crazy giants on turn 4 or 5. A single nerf like that would really drop the win rates of this deck, so be careful when crafting it, because the dust you're gonna get from those nerfs is gonna be very low. On the number 3, let's talk about Hunter again. We all know that Face Hunter is doing really well right now, but today let's talk about this Highlander Aggro Hunter, which is also doing pretty good. It is a very interesting take on the Highlander archetype, consisting of 27 cards below 4 mana, Dragonbane, Polkit, and Bran. It curves out really well, and a lot of the times people will just think you're a regular Face Hunter, since those would be the cards you would usually mulligan for anyway. With it being Highlander, you have plenty of room for tech cards like Neophyte and Ooze. And you can also get creative with the secrets, since everyone is expecting these three from you. You have your Crescent here, which can make your minions attack a minion even after you've went face with the minion. So it's a very cool way for you to clear a high priority minion after you've hit the high priority face. Combined with Kreen, it can be even stronger. The way you play Polkit can also be pretty tricky, because you don't really want to drop him on turn 4 unless you already have good cards to play up until turn 7, so be careful with that. On the matchups, Aggro Demon Hunter would be considered slightly unfavored. Everything else is close to 50 or very far from it in the positive side, so it's definitely a good choice for climbing. Like I said, you want to be mulliganing out like a Face Hunter, so you want to keep your good 1-drops, Face Stalker or Scavengers Ingenuity, but never both, cause you run only 2 beasts in the deck. You can also definitely keep Blazing Battle Mage, Zephy, Neophyte, Felmaw, and so on. But never keep Tracking or Secrets unless you really need Freezing Trap, and don't keep free drops unless you're perfectly curving into an animal companion, for instance. Polkit is also not worth the keep, but a Dragonbane can definitely make the cut, especially if you already have the tour guide. I do believe that this deck is safe from nerfs for now, so definitely feel free to craft it if you enjoy its playstyle. Highlander Hunter always finds room in the meta, so you will probably be able to use it even after the new expansion drops. Again, Face Hunter is still doing pretty good, but you already knew that. Now let's talk about Paladin again, but this time let's not talk about pure Broom Paladin since I already talked so many times about it, but instead Penflinger Paladin, which is doing just as good, if not better in some cases. With Tortolon Mage out of the picture, it definitely feels a lot better to play it, since that was by far its worst matchup, and Druid was a 50-50 as well. The deck curves out really nicely, and you have tons of card draw and ways to get out the cards that give this deck its name, Penflingers and Brooms. It's pretty awkward to play against it, because it can do a lot of things from hand when it has the setup. Rushing you with a couple of 0-mana pupils from hand, or pinging you down with the world's slowest Pyroblast are just two of the main things that this deck can do. You also have a Pyromancer for a very reliable board clear with your Librams of Justice, and you have Barath too, if those were not enough. You have your Librams of Hope so you can stall the game longer, and Lady Liadrin can definitely help you in the late game as well. For the matchups, Small Spell Mage and Control Priest would be the hardest, but any Priest deck would be very bad news for you. Highlander Mage ain't no picnic either, but anything else is deep in the green. In the mulligan, you're looking for your Eldors and Wisdoms and your first day of school in Hand of a Doll. Allura can also be a pretty good keep for you, especially if you're going for a turn 3 or 4 8-8 on the board from her. But consider if your opponent has an easy way to deal with that, and mulligan accordingly. Salad Sprite is also a very good keep for you, cause with him you can get your Brooms and Penflingers reliably, and if you're already curving out nicely, you can even keep the Truth Seeker. Not sure what can get nerfed here, so it should probably be a safe craft for you. It's doing really well against all of the popular decks out there, so climbing with it should be really easy for you. You could also obviously go for Broom Paladin again, and Aggro Paladin can get you some fast, sneaky wins too, so the choice is yours. And for the last deck on this list, I thought about putting Bomb Warrior again, but the things keep fresh, let's talk about Control Priest instead, which is also doing really well in the current meta. It's packed with cheap removals and value generators, and you have your Galakrond and Murozond for the late game too. Even after the nerf of Cabal Acolytes, it still opts to run 2 of those, so you can steal high priority minions with your 2 waves. And you can also get your good value generating minions back with the Raise Dead. In the true spirit of Priest, you will always have a good generated card to play, especially with the Setics and the small targeting spells you have. Wild Pyromancers with Apotheosis deal great with all of the aggro decks out there, so that is also pretty good. Like I said, it really feels great in the current meta, but Bomb Warriors and Secret Rogues would be a problem for you even if you can't see them from this picture. Those are not as common nowadays, so you should be good. For the mulligan, you will be going for your Disciples, Wand Makers, and Draconic Studies. Clerics can also be good if you already have a dragon in hand, and depending on the matchup, you can keep your Pyros, your Cabal Acolyte, or even Smite or Apotheosis. Here, I'm not sure we're gonna see any nerfs anytime soon either, so crafting should be safe. Realistically speaking, it's only 7k dust, since Galakrond is free, so that's a very low price tag for a control deck if you're looking for one. From the classes I didn't mention, Bomb Warrior is still definitely a very good choice. Secret Rogue and Weapon Rogue are also doing a fine job, and Malygos Druid could be very good for you if you're up for the challenge. Shaman and Warlock have left the chat, although Control Shaman might be worth the shot if you have the skills for it. Are you happy now, Frost? So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope these help you choose your next deck for climbing ranks. A like and a subscribe would really help a lot. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.